Denial is the psychological process by which human beings protect themselves from things which threaten them by blocking knowledge of those things from their awareness. It is a defense which distorts reality. It keeps us from feeling the pain and uncomfortable truth about things that we do not want to face. If we cannot feel or see the consequences of our actions, then everything is fine and we can continue to live without making any changes. Denial comes in many forms. It is not just for chemical dependence either. If you are human, you have denial about something, your relationships, your behaviour, your health, your family. We all want everything to be fine. We have denial to keep us from pain. For persons who are chemically dependent, to keep their denial is to die. In the process, they create pain for those around them, and they have denial about that too. To recover, they need to see their denial and see how it works so they can loosen the grip of their addictions. Denial is replaced by the truth and acceptance. To be in denial feels like anger, fear, shame, isolation, instead of being cold and cut off from themselves and others. You can be warm and begin to grow again. Defenses are the specific way we ward off attacks on our denial. Some defenses are conscious and we are aware of them. Others are subconscious and unaware of them. We use both to keep our denial intact. One of the saddest lessons in history is this, friends. If we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It is simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves. Voltaire once said, "Truth is a fruit that can only be picked when it's ripe." And this fruit, my friends, about the real world where we all live, is so very ripe and so ready for all of you to feast on once you start to see it. You can be warm and begin to grow. Modern astronomy and its crafty, almost deluded sycophant teachers teach that the sun is this stationary and the centre of this planetary or celestial bodies, and that it is over 1 million miles larger than the Earth, whereas it is not 1,000th part of its size. In nature, reality, of course. It's consistently moving in spiral orbits round and over the face of the motionless Earth, increasing the latitude of those orbits around 10 or 11 miles every day from June to December, and decreasing them in the same proportion from December to June. However, the astronomers teach that the sun's distance from the Earth is 92 to 93 million miles away, whereas it's proved to be a lot closer than this. And I mean a lot closer than this. So far from the Earth being a planet and much inferior in size to all the other planets in their solar system apart from Mars, it is of no part at all of the celestial system, but it is wholly distant and far superior in size and characters to absolutely every single one of the other planets, the wandering stars put together, which exhibit very little variety in size amongst themselves, of course, and most of them are not even terra firma. and show no parallax, by the way, whatsoever when viewed under any possible condition. The astronomers again assert that the Earth is to be a revolving or a rotating globe with an axial speed of over 1,000 miles an hour and an orbital speed of over 1,000 miles per minute. Said 600 miles per hour is the supposed velocity in the latitude of where I am recording this upload now, in the UK. Now, where does this actual calculation come from, and how in Yahweh's name has it been measured? Because bottom line, friends, and empirically of course, it is an absolutely motionless plane of earthland resting upon the waters, surrounded by a barrier of impassable icebergs extending into unknown regions where day and night come to an end or cease to be distinguished, and will only be removed when there shall be no more sea, and a new firmament and a new earth shall replace this sin-stained and misused world. The astronomers teach an atmospheric pressure of 15 pounds on the square inch, whereas it does not amount to half as many grains. Gravitation central is the wildest fiction ever invented, and the people of today just lap it up. What is lighter than air floats. What is heavier than air falls. And nature, friends, flies because it's got wings. The birds don't know they fly through the air, and fish don't know they swim through the water. The astronomers further declare that this globe has no material support, but it is sustained and controlled in its terrific orbits by solar attraction only. Remember this, friends. At this supposed distance of nearly 100 million miles away. Although Sir Isaac Newton himself declares the idea was grossly preposterous and discreditable to any rational mind, meaning of course that the centripetal and centrifugal forces were hypothetical conditions only. And like for like all the other data on which the Copernican theory was founded, and purely geometrical devices which no one in their sober senses ever thought could be illustrated by an appeal to facts. But such was the ignorance or bigotry of his professional friends that they would not allow even Sir Isaac Newton himself to publish his repeated disclaimers of being anything more than a mathematical inventor or formulator of a system, a solar system, which is in no degree dependent on the truth of his premises. The rank absurdity and downright impossibility of any one of its most elementary conditions, and the fact that no man of honour or scientific reputation would venture openly to defend it, ought to secure the instant rejection of it by every lover of truth in this world today. The whole thing lies in a nutshell, and all that it is insisted upon, that results or conclusions that are drawn from conjectural theories of philosophy, however plausible and apparently simple that they may be, are wholly worthless and unworthy of any claim to rank as true science, till they have been proved correct by actual experimental demonstration, and thus can be confirmed, illustrated as often as the truth is challenged or denied. Even if a theory be true in the abstract, yet if incapable of practical demonstration, then it can't be called science. Merely to suppose or assert it to be true is not an empirical form, friends. It's not. It's all just science fiction speculation, which is pseudoscience. This is what heliocentric is all based on, a pseudoscientific way of understanding science. The word NASA itself, friends, I will just stipulate, in Hebrew actually means to deceive. And this clincher, Newton himself, was way too sound a philosopher to attempt to illustrate the truth of the globular theory. He repeatedly discouraged all the discussion, and if left to himself would have never retracted or attached his name or sanction to such a bundling absurdity. He knew the creation is the real truth, and how many of you do not realise this? But the powers of be have known this all along. The true cosmogony of this universe, one verse, should be the primary subject, not fake outer space alien religious dogma, one which ought to take precedence of every single person with a mind of a child that can possibly be engaged. A balanced mind of emotions and understandings would be the key here at such a crucial development stage. Ignorance of its true nature is a gross scandal on all connected with any phase of education, either religious or secular. And the imposition of a fraud which the intelligent child soon learns to detect exerts a positive injury on the mind all through life. At the present moment, there is not one teacher in the kingdom who would venture to prove himself or herself familiar with the most elementary principles of natural science. Yet we as real earth believers are observed or are abused for declaring the world is full of dunces and knaves and people who do not understand the truth. So how today in 2023 the children of the world are growing up even more disconnected from natural nature reality, yet 100% connected to a vicious virtual reality. Ultimately, in some cases demonstrating now devastating results of an imbalanced behaviour and confused mind. Guns and knives obviously don't kill people, but the human being does. So we can end this very different upload with Paul's secret to happiness, Corinthians 3:12-17. Therefore, as Yahweh's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as Yahweh and Yeshua forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace, and be thankful. Let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing to Yahweh with gratitude in your hearts, and whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of Yeshua, giving thanks to Yahweh the Father and through him. Amen.